There you go.
All right, Craig.
So, what's up, my boy? How's your week been?
Oh, well, it's Monday. So start of the week for me. Not bad. I forgot my coffee cups at home, so I couldn't have coffee today. So that was a struggle. But, you know, Mondays. So what are you gonna do?
That is rough, though.
Yeah, it is what it is. We survive, we thrive, and I am probably 75% chance gonna forget the cups tomorrow too.
Well, the last time we got on, and actually, I didn't type this out, but I wanted to give you the floor. For your Warriors, your season ended,
uh,
unfortunately. But I wasn't sure
unfortunately,
if there's any parting words you wanted to share.
um, I mean, it was a good season. We were looking really good there at the tail end, fighting. I think there were like 3 or 4 teams tied for third or something. Um, we took out the Rockets, who kind of embarrassed us. And Curry, he only scored 3 points in that last regular season game versus the Rockets. So we climbed that hurdle. Unfortunate injury to our star player in game one versus the T Wolves. But these things happen, and it is what it is. Ultimately, the rest of the boys, the rest of the gang, didn't have enough or couldn't produce enough versus Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle to make it a story or at least more of a question whether Curry was coming back or not. But I don't know if you could tell in my voice last time, I didn't think he was coming back at all. Um,
Yeah, I
and
think
like,
that they were
eh,
optimistic if he was even going to play. I mean, if we're
right.
being real.
It was a reevaluation, and I think given that they were down 3-1, it I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even reevaluate him that day.
Yeah,
They
no
just
need to
said,
push it.
"Hey, it's not worth it." We literally saw this a few years ago with Kevin Durant. We were down in the finals. We tried to do it, ended up getting him hurt even worse. And I think hindsight's 2020. You just chalk it up, charge it to the game, take the L. I think if they were able to pick a game up off of him, and though that week he was gone, it may have been more of a conversation, possibly, but it didn't happen. Um, Everything I was saying we needed didn't happen. Um, and it is what it is. It was unfortunate, but we made the playoffs as the 7 seed. We beat the 2 seed. I think I'm happy with that, given the circumstances.
Amen. That's
Right.
fair.
Fingers crossed, everyone stays healthy. Right. We're talking a different story, maybe, but who knows? Best of luck to Edwards and the T Wolves. Tell you, besides your Knicks, I'm kind of rooting for them. For you, I want Anthony Edwards to go out and get one.
Yeah, he's fun. He is. He's a ton of fun. I think that would be like the people's consensus. Like, hey, if you're a neutral, you're probably rooting for him just because he's entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, he's damn good as well, but I think entertaining is going to draw a lot of those neutrals in who aren't necessarily tied to one of those four teams. But yeah, kind of like you mentioned. I mean, the Knicks had an interesting week of basketball after talked last Monday. Tatum gets hurt. Um, I had a funny feeling that wasn't going to be it, and Boston comes out, and it was the let's do it for Tatum game, and who
Derek
was
White went off that game.
Derek White went off. Luke Cornett turned into Dikembe Mutombo. Like they had the game of their lives, and credit to them because they needed it. So they win. You win Game 5. You send it back to Madison Square Garden for Game 6. And I'm gonna be so honest with you. So we're doing work happy hour Friday, and got with a friend who's a huge Celtics fan, and we're sitting there and like, yeah, what do you think? And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not confident per se, but if we're gonna win it, it's got to be this game because once you get to a game 7, it's gonna be back in Boston. You can't push it that late, and they go, the Knicks are going to blow us out. I go, really? They go, yeah, I think we used all of the good juju on game 5. I don't think there's any more left in the tank. And damn. It finished as I think, 37 or 38 point bludgeoning, but it got it up to over 40 points at some point in the third quarter. And the game was never close. Now, I, of course, was jumping up and down the entire game. That was so exciting for me. But now sets up a date with Indiana. First
It
game's what?
does. It does. And I think going off of that game 5 of Boston, I think every team in the playoffs has at least one of those per series. It's just a matter of when in the series do you have that game? And unfortunately for Boston, it was a little too late.
Yeah, because I think if they turn around one of those game 1 or game 2, the 20-point blown lead, if they use that great game as 1 or 2, I think we're looking at a different series.
We are definitely a different series. After being up 20 in game 1 and losing, if they come out and have that game 5 and game 2,
yeah,
there's a chance we're talking your scenario where it's like Celtics in 5.
Oh,
Slight
that was
chance,
on the
but a
table.
chance.
That was on the table. Now, of course, Tatum going down, it throws a wrench into everybody's theory. Now, what do you do? But it's exciting because the ceiling that I had for New York was the second round. And I know I said this last week, but now it's kind of just unknown. Now you're figuring it out on the fly.
You're looking
So
at a
like
sunroof, man. How high
yeah,
can you
right.
go?
And even 2 years ago, which was Julius Randle playing through the shoulder injury, we lose to Atlanta in the second round, and then last year we beat 76ers in 6 or 7 games, and then we go against Indiana, but we lose. Hart's out hurt. Jalen Brunson breaks a finger. Like we're down a couple of starters. They still push it to 7 games. Now, to me, this has to be, if those two were the setup, this has to be Team of Destiny. You're now going to get a rerun back at the team who beat you in 7 last year when you were hurt. You are the higher seed, so you're going to host these first 2 games. There is no Boston or Cleveland who you couldn't beat waiting for you. We won the regular season series against Indiana. And actually, I'll throw these 2 stats at you. These are the 2 things I found the most interesting. Karl Anthony Towns, he played the Western Conference for most of his career, and then obviously got traded to the Knicks. Indiana is his favorite team to play against. He has the highest scoring average against any team. Indiana's the one. He's averaging over 30 points a game. And Brunson as well. I think Indiana's at the top 5 or top 6 for him for best statistical averages, but I don't know. I'm still reading stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, and I know Indiana looks good, but it's hard not to feel like the Knicks could do something here.
I think the Knicks, after taking out Boston, asterisk on game 4, but they were up 3-1 after that game. So the Knicks were taking care of business. And I'd say the Knicks now aren't the same Knicks team that couldn't beat Boston in the regular season.
Agreed.
But
Strong
that goes
agreed.
both ways. Like, you guys beat the Pacers in the regular season. They're not the same team they were in the regular season.
No, and I want to give them their credit. Like, they have had a fantastic turn of the year since January. They've only lost 2 games in the playoffs. Like, they are for sure a solid team. Great coach. They have a lot of depth. A lot of guys who could score on you. They play great defense. Tyrese Halliburton is a young star in this league. I think that they showed their ceiling last year when they got swept by the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't think that they're in that echelon. And right now it's kind of these 2 teams are deciding, okay, who's actually going to take that next step? Because one of these two teams are going to be in the finals, which is crazy to say. Because I don't think anybody was expecting this to be the matchup, but that's kind of on them. Like, like I said, you don't have one of these juggernauts that you're going up against. It's teams that are just like you. Now, who's going to perform?
Yep.
So I think that's exciting. It doesn't feel like, yes, I think the Thunder could be favorites. But you saw the Nuggets push them to 7.
The Thunder are vulnerable.
Yeah. And like you
I'm
said, I think T Wolves have a chance. I don't know what that. I mean, if you put a percentage on it, what would you give the Timberwolves to knock off
to,
Oklahoma City?
OKC. I was tired, and like I said this morning, I did not have my coffee, but there was a voice in there that said T Wolves in 5. It was Shannon Sharp's voice, but I still thought it. And I was like, hey, I mean, these guys, like, for all it's worth, they put up 150 on Denver in like game 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm. Game 2, I
It
believe.
shouldn't have been close at all. And game 7 wasn't close. Don't get me wrong. I turned it on and was disappointed. I was like, oh shit, I thought I was turning on a game 7, not a game 2. But whatever, Denver didn't kind of show up last night. I still don't think that OKC has what it takes. They've proven all season they have what it takes, but they haven't been challenged really, and that was their challenge, and they
No.
took the Nuggets to 7. I think Anthony Edwards sees that and takes that personally and is like, hey, I beat LeBron, I beat Curry (parentheses asterisk). Let's
Yeah.
let's go ahead and knock out the number 1 too.
Yeah, that would be some kind of run from him. And if they ended up making it to the finals, I think that'd be hard to pick against them, regardless of who
I don't
comes out of the East.
I don't know how I'm gonna get on the Hard Rock app for the finals if it's T Wolves and the Knicks or the Pacers. I don't want to put any bad juju out there
No, no,
or
that's fair.
whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh
I
man,
think
good.
this playoffs is one of the better ones I've seen, in my opinion. Um, to me, the last few years don't really get interesting until you get to that round 2, the conference finals. It's been kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, this team's gonna get there, but it should be fun. And now these teams that have been playing their basketball have to level it up again for these conference finals, and then they have to level it up one more time. So that ceiling you were talking about that you thought was round 2, it's these players going to have to be reaching for like the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
tough. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get our predictions in. Just as a quick heads up, by the time you're hearing this, it'll be Tuesday. So you got Minnesota and Oklahoma City tip off Tuesday. It's 8:30 game. Uh, just as let's play guess the line. What are you thinking here? Who's favorite?
OKC's got to be favorite.
What's the point number here?
I'd put the line at maybe 4.5.
Ooh, 7.5.
Okay.
So they're clearly thinking that Oklahoma City at home is going to take care of business. But then you move on to Wednesday. You got the Knicks hosting first 2 games. So we'll we'll have to see how that goes. Personally, for me, I don't. I'll definitely make sure I'm watching it. But set at Knicks -4.5. So and the cheapest tickets right now to get in the door, $529.
Wow.
Yeah, MSG does not play. But all right, so what's your finals look like? Who you got?
I got the Knicks, especially if Paul Atreides is in the audience. Lisan
It
Al
seems like
Gaib.
he's at every game.
If Lisan Al Gaib is courtside, Knicks in 6.
If Tracy Morgan throws up on the court, Knicks in 5.
Yes.
Okay, and who you got out west?
West, I'm gonna go T Wolves. I'm also
Okay,
gonna go T Wolves in 6.
okay. So Minnesota and the Knicks. What a That what is the script writers are having a good time with that, especially with the trade that happened before the season started. That'll be a narrative that'll be flying around. That'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, well, I guess by the time we check in next week, we'll probably be looking at both series. We'll have played at least 2 games, maybe a third. Definitely out west, it seems. So I think that'll probably give you a good indication of how these guys are starting. Now, of course, any injury, a total game changer, derails any team's chances, of course, at this point. But if the series stays healthy, these are some decent matchups we'll have here, and some good star power. Like as much as I think that, uh, who was just in it, Cleveland, like maybe with Mitchell. Of course, it would have been fun to see Boston, but without Jason Tatum, you lose some of that sparkle. Without Curry, Golden State loses some of that sparkle. So these teams are there, but I think the 4 that are left are some quality squads.
I think, I mean, to say they're not the 4 best teams in the NBA right now is kind of weird. I don't necessarily think they are. I just think they played the best basketball in the playoffs so far. Definitely not the conference finals/finals that anyone thought this was going to be. We thought we were going to see LeBron Luka versus OKC. We thought we were going to see the Celtics versus Cleveland in would have been in the conference finals. We're not seeing 3 of those teams we thought were going to be here. So I think it's a good, I don't want to say turning point for the NBA, but this new generation of players is putting their footprint in here. Like, hey, we
Yeah,
made the conference finals. We made the finals too. We're here. Like LeBron made it and lost a couple times. So what? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna win it this time.
it's kind of the
Like,
next era. So it's kind of,
yes. Yes.
yeah, that's a great way to put it. I did see it was a cool graphic. I'm sure it was NBA on ESPN or ABC or something, but it was Anthony Edwards, Brunson, Halliburton, um, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and it said, one of these superstars are going to win their very first title, and for 3 of those 4, their team has never, the franchise has never won the NBA title.
Wow.
Knicks are the only one, and they won in the '70s last. So for these other 3, this is, like we keep talking about, that ceiling raiser, sunroof. Like this is uncharted territory for these guys. So it's fun. That's exciting. Like this could be, maybe this is the start of the Anthony Edwards. He makes 3 finals in 5 years, or the Thunder could go on this run where it's back-to-back championships or back-to-back finals appearances. But this is kind of that first step, like you said. So it's good. Of course, it's nice to have my team here, but even if we had been knocked out and it was Detroit or it was Cleveland, like I still think that's a cool way to think about the teams that are remaining.
I'll say that is probably the only blessing for the Warriors getting knocked out is I just get to sit back and watch good basketball and
Good
not
point.
stress about points and turnovers and we're getting out rebounded and like just all this. And so I just sit back and be like, damn, these are good shots. That was a bad shot. Hella good block. Like I just get to sit and watch basketball, chill, eat my wings, pizza, drink a beer, and all right.
Yeah, I think that I'm having a heart attack before Game 5. That I'll tell you that right now.
It's
Because
like,
when we were texting in the group, and the moment for me was the Deuce McBride chase down block into the Josh Hart and one. Like that for me, that was like heart rate spike. I was like, all right, we got
the
this. Like, we're gonna win it.
yeah.
So a lot of fun. But that's anything else you got on the NBA?
No, not for the NBA. Just
All right. Well,
interested to see how this draft goes and any trades in the off season. Obviously, will change the trajectory of the stories we're talking about now.
both have you? Did you see that they finished the combine?
I did not.
So they finished the combine. Flag is like for sure going to be the number one pick. I mean, Dallas came out and pretty much said they're taking him, but I think everything else is kind of still up in the air. So if you don't have that number one pick, there's a lot of different movie parts before the draft ends up coming. I think it's middle of next month, as soon as the finals finishes. I think.
Yeah.
So we got some time. We got some time to talk. We gotta finish these matchups first. But not to leave you hanging, I did a cinema. Went to
You
the
did a
movies.
cinema. Went to the movies.
Did a
Okay.
cinema. This is only the fourth time I've been to the movies since last July.
Oh, I thought you were about to say COVID. I was going to say me too.
No. So I would say pre-COVID we tried to go like more often. It was like I don't know, like a regular date night. It's every other month or so.
Yeah.
And just pick something, go get a box of popcorn, and go catch a movie. But no, since then it's been like obviously everything's so expensive right now. For you to go get 2 tickets and just get like drinks and popcorn, it's like just dropping $50 in the movie theater.
Easy.
So
Now, I will say, just a quick side note for any listeners that may not be regular moviegoers, if you register, usually it's free for AMC or your Regal stuff, it will pay itself back eventually. Like you do get neat stuff for that. So if you're not a member, like I don't even go all the time, but I'm a member, so every once in a while I get like a free drink, free popcorn. It's like, oh
nice.
shit, okay, bet. Like, cool. So sign up for them things that they're free, man. If you like movies, if you like doing cinemas, then sign up for that. Save a little money. Because there are some quality ones. What did you see? What did you guys go catch?
We went to go see Thunderbolts yesterday.
Okay, I'm very interested about your opinion on this because I've seen some good things.
So, well, we saw the newest Captain America when it came out in February.
Okay,
Didn't love it.
and that was with Falcon, right?
Yes,
Taking over his
Yep. Didn't love it. It was fine. Not the worst movie by any standards, but it was not great. So, kind of tentative going into this one, but we had the same thing like you had said. I had a lot of people who'd be like, no, it's good, it's the best thing since this, it's the best thing since this, you gotta go catch it. So we were like, all right, screw it, let's go. Went to a matinee yesterday and genuinely had a good time at the movies.
Okay.
And it's one of those, like, you leave it and you're like, huh, like that felt like it was a good experience, you had a good time, a couple of cool scenes. It didn't feel like, it's gonna sound awful, like there have been a couple movies where I've like, oh, that was a waste of my money.
Damn.
I could have just waited until that hit streaming in 2 months.
You're gonna throw shade and give us one of those movies?
I'll say Captain America. I genuinely did not.
Okay. Could have waited for that to hit Disney Plus.
Exactly, but this hype machine builds it up, and you're like, oh man, like maybe I'll just try it out. And then $50 later, I'm like, all right, I could have stayed home. Like, I didn't need to come to this.
I'm paying $50 for the Disney Plus stream. Why am I not using it?
Seriously, and then of course one of the ads for the new movie was that the Captain America is gonna be on Disney Plus in like 2 weeks. I was like, okay, but
yikes.
No, it's that's our the quarterly movie, so I won't be back until August. But
fair.
No, I kid. The dare I say it, the movies might be back. Like there's a lot of good stuff. It seems like coming out. They're trying to dip into some like revivals of franchises. Like the new Superman comes out. They're redoing Fantastic Four. Have you
Doctor Doom?
That'll be
whatever he's associated with. Okay.
Yep. Have you ever been to a Cinemark that has like the D-Box theater?
No. What is that?
It's like 4D. So basically, like your chair shakes, or like you have speakers like right behind your head. So it's like it's supposed to be like a more immersive experience. But we did not sign up for that. I was like, I'm good. I don't need all of that. I just want to watch the movie. But the D-Box theater is right next to where the bathroom was. So I take like, oh yeah, we'll go use the restroom real quick. Try to like make it 2 minutes so I don't miss much of the movie. And as I'm going, The D box theater that is next to the bathroom is the newest Final Destination movie.
I don't
And
want to talk about it, but
I'm not a big horror fan, not my thing. I am standing in there and I open the door and it's just me in the bathroom and the walls are shaking from how loud it is next door. And all I hear are these like screams and I'm like I cannot do this.
no,
Like
no
imagine
way.
spending money to go and want to have that experience. No, thank you.
I would do that for. I couldn't even tell you what movie I would do that for.
Yeah, that's my point, right?
Fast and Furious, maybe.
Maybe.
Like just to. I mean, we know it's going to be cars and explosions. Like, might as well just shake with them.
Yeah,
I
maybe,
don't know.
maybe. There's no
And for
surprise in
me,
that.
yeah, for me, it's definitely not Final Fantasy. I'm also not
No,
a horror person. Just the trailer
no,
spikes
I'm
my
good.
anxiety. Like I'm good.
Yeah, I was like I couldn't even pee in peace because it felt like I felt like I was in the theater.
The urinal's shaking on you. You can't aim.
um, but no, that's Nick's movie corner. So yeah, well, like I said, I'll check back in 9 weeks. But
Heck yeah.
um,
We actually we went and saw Sinners with Michael B. Jordan
oh, I
and Haley
heard
Steinfeld.
it was good.
It was good. It was good.
Okay,
I kind of knew what it was going in after seeing like some Facebook posts and stuff, but definitely a little strange at times, but I think that's kind of the point.
okay.
It was entertaining. I will say it did get a little hard to keep up with two Michael B. Jordans
Oof.
at one point for me. I was like, wait, is that him? Is that them? Different guy. Okay, whatever. But
I could see
no,
that being
entertaining, good movie. Um, visuals were fine. Soundtrack was great.
okay.
Um, yeah, no. So if you're considering that, maybe you'll be not due for a check until August, you say, but whenever it hits streams, it's not a bad
I was
one.
gonna say as soon as
And
it hits like HBO Max or whatever it's gonna be on, I'm sure I'll flick
yeah,
through that. But I will say I turned. There was one trailer. Oh, and I'm gonna forget what the name of the movie was. There were a couple of trailers that I was like, oh yeah, like maybe that'd be fun. And then there were a couple trailers that I was like, I'm gonna wait till that goes like straight to streaming because there's no way I'm spending an additional dollar to watch that movie. You're kind of at this point
not
where
even an additional dollar.
there's
Yikes.
enough good media out there that you can kind of be a little picky. So yeah, that's my rant on movies though.
You also said you
So
were watching a show.
I did. I've multiple shows. Um,
If
and I
it's
have to
if one of
say,
them's The Last of Us, I'm gonna
it
need a
is.
pause. I'm gonna need a
One of them is.
pause because I'm a couple weeks behind. We can only watch when we're together and working schedules and stuff. So we're planning on hell. We might watch it. I think Wednesday.
Okay.
We're hanging out.
Well,
So
well, let's get into that. So, what episode have you seen, or what's the most recent episode you saw?
um, Dina's pregnant.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're not far behind.
Not very far. Yeah, not
Okay,
very
okay.
far. But I work on Sunday, and then like I had D&D last night, Dungeons and Dragons. So I do that on my Sundays. I don't work, and then on the Sundays I do work. I usually work and then like veg. So
Okay.
we just catch up whenever we can.
I think
So I think we're
you're
2 weeks
back.
behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're two behind.
And then this past one was a full flashback episode. This most
Oh,
recent one.
okay, cool.
It's kind of flash. Yeah, that was one of the shows. I mean, I had so much fun with season one. I am enjoying season two. I think they said that they're gonna split it. Like they're splitting the second game into, I think like 3 seasons of TV.
Holy hell, they got to do something because I think there's only 2 games out.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
said that the only story they're telling is from the beginning of the first game to the end of the second game. So basically, you get all of game one in season one, and I think they wanted to do 4 seasons of the show. So
Okay. I have you played the games?
No.
No,
I am familiar with them. Like I've seen like the YouTube videos and stuff of people playing the games, but I have not personally played it because I don't have the PS5.
fair. I have played basically neither of them. I'll say that.
Okay, sure.
Um, I got, in season one, their first encounter with the clickers.
Yeah.
I am right there in game one. I suck, just
I,
quite frankly, and was struggling with those clickers. So I turned it off and turned on Black Myth Wukong. I'm a lot better at that. And I haven't picked it back up
pick
yet.
it
It
back
is on
up.
the list, but I will say it is pretty much, and Alex can help me out with this because she's played at least the first game and knows basically everything in the second game.
Okay.
It's pretty spot on to like the show in the
To
game,
the show. Okay.
to the show. Season one. Season two, there's a couple like things here or there. Like I'm pretty sure I remember Alex saying that like it's Tommy that goes with Joel
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
to the so that does, they already deviated there, which is fine. It's still made for good like movie. It being Dina instead of Tommy is okay. Like no big deal. And actually, I think that makes for more drama in the show because now Dina and Ellie are hauling ass to go kill the wolves, and Dina was there when all that crap was
Hmm.
going down. Now she was propofol out of her mind, but and sedated, heavily sedated. But I think it like draws a little bit more personal thing into the story that it was Dina, and now Dina and Ellie are hanging out and they've got their fling going on. Um, but no, I'm loving the show. I don't want to say it's better than The Walking Dead.
See, I never got into The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead is a lot. I don't even want to say it's a lot more politics. It might be, it might not be. In my opinion, it's a lot more politics within the group, and then group to group politics and shit too.
Okay. Sure.
And the zombies aren't as scary. Is really my
Mm,
thing. Once undead start running, then I have a problem
yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
because like I'm fast, but I'm not fast for 6 miles of running away from a herd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose
Yeah,
speed. They're not.
it definitely puts you in a bit of a predicament. I think that's
It
fair to
does.
say.
Yes.
But yeah, that's one of the shows. I'm having a good time with that. I did finish Andor.
Ooh, good. This is the new season of Andor.
This is the news. This is the final season of Andor.
The final season of Andor. Okay, so I might have to hop on this.
Um, I that might be a top five show of my life.
Wow.
And
Really?
I don't want to like I know there's some recency bias in that. Um,
That's fair.
but not hyperbolizing. It might be top five, but I don't think it's five.
What do you
So
think? Three?
well, let's go. I would
What
say
yeah, what would they be?
okay. So for me, I think Breaking Bad's up there. Just feels like a perfect series of TV. Um, Game of Thrones is up there, but I do feel like season 8 knocks it down, probably out of that. I think that would have been. I think that would have been contending.
Had potential to be, for me, had potential
Sure.
to be number one. Game
Yes,
of
I think
Thrones.
yeah. If you want to divide it into the first 6 or 7 seasons, I think it's one. And I don't think how I think I like House of the Dragon, but I don't think it's top five yet. Probably right outside. Probably number 6 right now.
House of the Dragon
Um,
is great. It's to me, it's not better than Game of Thrones
mhm.
yet.
I think
Um,
this next season they're saying this next season is going to push it over.
I think it is hard. I think it is also very hard for brother to be better than the Big Brother in that
Sure,
regard.
sure.
And I think if they
Even
don't
if the Big Brother
screw
made
the
some
final
awful
season,
mistakes.
Yeah, I think if they don't screw the final season like Game of Thrones did, like, well, who are those guys? JB Weiss and
Benioff and
them.
Weiss. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Um, they have potential to definitely be better because to me, House of the Dragon first season, I don't want to say predictable, but for the most part, you're working with small parties and not that many
Yeah,
characters.
it's
You could kind
slow.
of see what was coming, and there were a couple twists. I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming unless you read the books. Um,
Season 2, 3,
but
a
then
couple bones, but
2, 3 was like, oh, okay, like this is now
no,
it's getting more Game
3
of
is this summer.
Thronesy. Yes, yeah. Two.
Yeah.
Now it's getting more Game of Thronesy. I
Yes,
may have read
agreed.
a little bit of the book, so I do know
Uh,
what's coming.
okay.
So sorry, but
No, fair enough.
now
No
it's like,
spoilers.
oh, yeah. I got a couple in there. I won't spoil it for anyone.
Um. So yeah, so I think that would be there. I either one or two for me, and I go back and forth. Did you ever watch the Chernobyl, the miniseries?
I did not. For as interested as I am in Chernobyl, I should.
It's on HBO Max, and the guy who did The Last of Us, Craig Mazin, he was the executive director on Chernobyl. So Neil Druckmann picked him out because of his work on Chernobyl.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
I think it's 6 episodes. I
Hour 45.
I would say about an hour. It might be the closest thing to perfect TV. Genuinely,
Wow.
no fat. It's great pacing, and it tells the because of course I'm into history and politics, whatever, and it tells the overarching like political side of it and what happens with the trial and what happens with the world. Like it's just a solid show, but that's up there. Um, I don't think what else. I don't know. I mean, I liked.
Did you mention Breaking Bad?
I did. I said Breaking Bad.
Okay.
That's the first one I said. Yeah. I'm tempted to put only season 1 of The Mandalorian up there.
Hmm.
But again, I know that's getting into the
Is this
nitty gritty
5?
of separating.
Like
Um,
top 5? Or we still doing?
I'm
I
still
think
top
we've
5.
named more than we've named more than 3. So Mandalorian is very good. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. But similar to like you said with Game of Thrones, a bad season here or there, a couple of bad episodes probably dings it more. Um,
Yes.
but I think that's what I'm looking at. So yeah, I'd probably slap Andor third. I think behind Breaking Bad and Chernobyl.
Okay.
And I haven't, to be fair, I haven't seen Sopranos the whole way through. I haven't seen The Wire the whole way through. So I know that those are like classic, like Hall of Fame TV shows. So I can only go off of what I've spent my time
What
on.
you've
But
seen. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Your personal top 5. Yeah. I don't mind that.
But yes, whenever you do find time, that's a that's a really good one.
That is we are obviously Last of Us season 2 is going on now. Outside of that, like I just started getting into a little bit of anime.
Okay.
So we are watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it's nice, 20-minute episodes of manga,
Okay.
and it's nice, you just turn on, crush a few, or right before bed, crush a few. But like we do have like a one of your longer shows, right? Your 45 minutes, your hours that we dedicate time to. So I think as soon as season 2 of Last of Us is done and we catch up, I might have to try to sneak Andor in there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think Last of Us. I think they said it's 7 episodes. So I think there's 2 more to come out. I think this one was episode 5. Maybe there's 3 more. I don't know. But anyways, that's my TV. That's my movie and my TV check-in, my media corner. Um, but I also wanted to, because I have it sitting right here in front of me. NHL playoffs. I,
Hit.
the Rangers are not in it. I have not spent a second watching a game live. I've just been kind of catching up on highlights. But I have 2 interesting fun facts for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down to the kind of follow the basketball model. So we're down to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. All 4 number 1 seeds lost in the second round.
Wow.
So we have a 2-3 matchup in the East and a 2-3 matchup in the West.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And my last fun fact for you: out of all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 series so far, only 3 of those have gone to a Game 7.
So they've all been relative. I don't want to say quick, but quick. You think we
1, 2, 3.
see Game 7s in the conference finals?
I do think so, because I think you're kind of at the point where, similar to basketball, like these teams are probably so tightly matched or just beat down and exhausted that it's hard for a team to kind of pull away. But I say all that to say this: of there isn't really a clear number one. Obviously, the Panthers have had recent success, but Dallas Stars are kind of a team that snuck up on some people. Edmonton Oilers were in the NHL Finals but couldn't win it, and the Carolina Hurricanes blew the doors off the number one seed Caps. So, get some good, dare I say, some good hockey going on. But like I said, I probably won't watch a second of these games live. I'll just kind of catch up with it the day after.
Yeah,
But the
that's
first,
usually how I have to play it too, because they're on the same time NBA's on.
seriously, 8 o'clock for both days, and it's tomorrow and it's Wednesday. So nice try.
Oof.
I know. Why would you? Whatever. No, it's
Hopefully
above my
the
pay grade.
finals are staggered. We can watch NBA and then hockey, NBA and then hockey.
If I recall correctly, the NBA takes more breaks, so the Stanley Cup always finishes before because the
That
NBA
is
will be
true.
like 2 days or 3 days between games, and the Stanley Cup is
Yeah.
like every other day.
Okay. So I mean, the NBA's been doing every other day, but they do give them like an extra day or so for travel in the finals, at least.
Yeah, the finals is like game on Monday, game on Saturday, and then no game again until like Thursday, which we love in the moment because you're like, oh yeah, that means you get a lot of your Friday night or Saturday night games. There's no random Tuesdays, but then you're waiting a week for 2 games to
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
Um, and then the last thing that I had was the NFL schedules came out, and I don't know if you are an adamant follower to the schedule releases, but the social media teams get super creative with how they decide to release them. Have you seen any of those videos?
I haven't seen any videos. I've seen social media spark up with the releases of the schedule. I think the Cowboys have to play like the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers. They have to play like 4 or 5 teams in a row at the end of the season. And it's like it's unfortunate, but your season's already over before those games, Cowboys.
True.
So you can lean on that crutch now, but we'll check in mid-season for that.
Well, the one of my favorite things to do is to check out the schedule release videos. So here are some. This is Sports Illustrated did this, but here are the top 10. And I'm just I'm gonna kind of give you the breakdown of it. Not the breakdown per se, but like they try to riff it off of something in real life. So the Las Vegas Raiders did the. Do you remember the like This Is Sports Center commercials
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they were like walking around the facility and it was like the former
Hmm.
athletes? That's how they based their schedule announcement on walking around their facility. Um, what were the other ones I saw? Did you ever see the show Severance?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know about it?
I do not.
No, it's okay. Apple TV show. Baltimore, the Ravens did theirs off of that. The Tennessee Titans. This one cut some teams like some deep burns. So it's do you know have you seen the commercials for the drug Sky Rizzy?
Yes, I have.
So theirs is called Schedule Rizzy. The new treatment for moderate to severe SFW, football season withdrawal. Um, It's hilarious. Basically, they list the teams off of what the side effects are for schedule Rizzy.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me pull this up.
I was gonna say I need to hear some of these side effects because I can see the commercial already. Well, I can see the commercial. I don't know about the video, but it's a cheerful, bright background. People are dancing. They're having a good time. And then there's like a narrator in the background, like lowly mumbling all the side effects.
Yes, 100%. And they're listing off the teams as you go. Um, okay. So they talk about, oh, yeah, this and that, whatever. So the first one they said side effects may include altitude sickness. And then on the bottom it says Titans at Broncos.
Altitude sickness. Okay, we love that.
Denver. Next one is gridlock. And that's the Rams, the
Steelers.
LA Rams. Nope.
Okay, gridlock. All right, my bad. My bad.
Hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Uh, what? Okay, who's that?
Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Imposter syndrome.
Oof. Oof. Who's that? Is that
Think
the?
think think interdivision here.
Oh, is now where I get exposed when
No,
I
it's
tell
the
you
it's the
I don't
Texans.
actually know my divisions.
Yes, yes. This is where you get roasted for it.
I don't actually know my
I'm like,
divisions.
yeah, NFC South, and you're like, where?
I can't. Yeah, no, I can't tell you who's in that. If you
That's
told me a team that was in that, I could maybe tell you a couple, like the other
they're
three.
the Titans.
That's the Titans division.
Interdivision, yeah.
Okay, oh yeah, I don't know who's in their division.
It's the Texans,
Yeah, but then I don't know the other two.
the Jags, and the
Okay,
Colts.
yeah, no, I would have guessed that.
Okay, so the next side effect was heat stroke.
That's gotta be Florida.
Oh, Arizona Cardinals.
Okay, it does get hot as hell over there too.
Crapping out.
What was that?
Crapping out. Like tiring out. The Raiders.
Okay, this is hard.
Melancholy. Yeah. Melancholy is the Patriots.
Okay,
Jet lag is the Seahawks.
what? How's jet
Diarrhea
lag
is
not the
the
Jets?
Browns. That's true.
That
Oh,
tracks. That tracks.
we don't play them this year.
Okay, fair.
Nausea is the Chiefs,
That tracks.
and slurred speech is New Orleans.
Bruh. Okay, yeah, because you're drunk on
Yes.
bourbon. All right.
Okay, so the Seahawks did an action figure one, like a '90s commercial.
Okay.
Um, and then my one of my favorite ones that it's always the Chargers always do a great job. They made their entire schedule release video in Minecraft.
Who did this?
Okay, you're gonna just pull it up. Pull it up on a tab.
Oh man, this is
The L
crazy.
the LA Chargers.
You don't know
You've
how many.
you've never heard of this tradition?
No.
Oh my god, you're missing out. You're missing out. Okay,
Oh, all right, schedule release video. Let's see this.
and go to the Chargers one.
Here we go. Here we go. What? Oh, okay. I can't watch it on that website. Sorry. It's a 5-minute video, so I'm just gonna skip this ad and
I
watch
was
the
gonna
one
say
at the beginning.
just watch the first like 30 seconds or so.
Bro, get out of here.
So for anybody who hasn't seen it,
It's got all the NFL players.
yeah. So basically, and they do a little like thank you at the end. But if you pause it at any given time, there are so many different Easter eggs or different like fun little quips in there. Um, it's amazing.
Okay, I'm here to tell you, you don't know how many hours
Oh my
they
god.
put into this particular Minecraft server.
So it actually
Just
says it says at the end, it says thank you to the Minecraft community, and there's a good 50 to 60 names on here
oh, okay, all right, bet. So they had other
of
people
people who were
helping. I
doing
was
it
like,
together. Yeah.
no way,
Yeah.
this freaking media team did this
No, 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 no. I'm sure. Yeah,
a-
I'm sure that they had some people
after
on
the
payroll.
schedule released. Oh my lord, no
Well,
way.
the teams have them. Like the schedule has been done for like 2 or 3 months.
Oh, okay, okay. They just don't release them until
They
okay,
don't
fair,
the
fair, fair,
whole
fair, fair.
yeah, the whole league releases them at like it's like 8 o'clock. It was I think it was 8 o'clock on Tuesday
Okay,
or
okay.
Wednesday.
So they've had months to like make this and
Yes.
put people on like, hey, do not talk
Yes,
sort of thing.
exactly.
All right.
So every team kind of does a different. And again, it's I've heard sides of it that are like this is the dumbest thing ever because it's just literally a spreadsheet. It's just the schedule. I think it's so cool how the media departments of each team turn this into something more that makes it go viral.
Yeah, because what else are you gonna do? You're just gonna release a Excel spreadsheet on X or
Yeah,
Twitter,
right.
formerly Twitter? Like what? That no. Like take something, be creative, release something cool. Try to reel in some more fans for that. Like hell yeah, I love the idea. That's
Yeah.
super sick. Not just because I'm a Minecraft nerd, but you know,
So yeah, you'll
they're
have
playing the
to
part.
which one are you at right now?
I skipped through the video.
Okay. Very cool.
I just
Just
like
kind of
skipped
clicked
just
around.
like yeah, just looking at a couple parts. Like I saw that AFC Estates pop up and I was like, dude,
Yes.
stop. Hold on. Pause. Pause.
It's yeah. The amount of time that they probably spent
Stop.
on that. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
I think I wanted to share that. That was cool. But and then actually kind of getting into the games of like what are the best games? I did find a little article that kind of talked about the best games of each week. And I had three that I wanted to highlight just quickly. Um, even though we're 5 to 6 months away.
All right. We'll pin them on the
Um,
calendar.
yeah, just a little pencil them in. So first one I have week 4, Ravens at Chiefs.
It's gonna be a good one.
That's always a good game.
Always good one.
Um, week 9, Chiefs at Bills.
Oof.
Again, great game.
Yep. I mean, that's three of the top five quarterbacks in the league.
Correct. And then weeks 10 and 11, the Lions play back to back. They play at the Commanders and then at the Eagles.
Oh my.
So that's going to be a bit of a tough stretch for them. And then the last really great game, which is I'm hoping is a better, more even game than the NFC Championship game. But the Eagles travel to Washington on December 20th, and that could carry some playoff implications.
There's a very high chance that carries some playoff implications.
So that's what I got. I mean, that's at least what I had written down. What else you got?
Um, just a quick little Preakness review. In case you watched or didn't watch, I'll let you know now. Journalist favorite ended up winning. Sandman, who was at least the horse I said on stream, ended up coming in third. So if you put money on him to win, play, show, or to show, you got a little back on it. I ended up doing a couple different ones where I picked like Sandman to win and then journalism to win. So I ended up winning a little bit back on that. And that was a very good race. It got off
Nice.
quick pace. There was one horse. I didn't even look at his name because I was looking at Sandman and journalism the whole time. But he was pretty much in the top of the pack the most time and then they come around that final turn. Sandman starts making his run because that's a big come from behind horse there. And I just want to correct myself from the last stream. I said something like 20 furlongs. He was 13 and a half lengths behind when he started his push and ended
Okay.
up winning by 2 lengths. So
Okay.
a 15 and a half length difference he ended up making up to win that Arkansas Derby right before the Kentucky Derby. So I was like, this horse has got hail and speed. He's got the stamina. Like he's not going to have any problems. Preakness race, which is a little bit longer than the Derby, ended up coming to third. So not too bad. We'll see which horses end up in the Belmont Stakes, which is the third leg of the Triple Crown. As said previously, there won't be a Triple Crown this year because Sovereignty, who won the Derby, did not race in the Preakness, but will still be fun. We'll see if journalism runs in that one. At least get 2 out of the 3 legs. Need to see. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. And that was just my little horse racing update. And then the last thing I have, if you don't mind,
Please, by all means.
we're gonna dive into the WNBA here,
I could
and
not be more excited.
I think it is probably the top headline as of today in the WNBA. The WNBA season kicked off this weekend. And I decided to watch the Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky,
Yeah.
which is a Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese matchup. Excuse me. It didn't disappoint. Caitlin Clark triple double, but the point I really wanted to get at here is that flagrant, which was a foul that was then changed to a flagrant, and I just wanted to get your opinion on that foul. Did you think that was a flagrant?
So I'm torn here. So for anybody that hasn't seen it, so it's Angel Reese under the basket. Looks like she's going to go up to pull layup up, and Clark comes over and kind of, I don't know, like grapples her almost, so she can't get the shot off. Clearly foul's called, and that's it. After she walks away, Reese goes after her, says a couple things, and is broken up by the rest of the players on the court. But like you said, it was upgraded to a flagrant. I think I had 2 issues with it. One is looking at it right away, you're like, all right, regular foul. She takes her free throws, but that's it. She did put her hand in Angel Reese's back, which could have like a bit more than a foul. But I think the distinction that sold it for me was the referee pool after the game said it wasn't a basketball play. Like if she wanted to just make a play for the shot, there's other ways to do that. The way that she did it wasn't deemed as a basketball play. So okay, I'm like, all right, if that's how you're gonna say it, fine, I get it. However, like watching it back, even in slow motion, it's like it's a bad foul, but those happen all the time, and they're called, but they're not necessarily flagrants.
Indeed.
But I think that's where I'm at.
So I see the headlines. I watched the game, I saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna counter you. I don't even think it was a bad foul. I think she did make a play on the ball and missed. She hit her arms, which were holding the ball. And here's my
Okay.
thing. I don't know if the rules are tweaked or written or worded differently in the WNBA rulebook, but you translate that to the NBA, there's not a chance in hell that's a flagrant foul. No chance, in my opinion. I may be
Hold on
wrong.
the clip right now. Let's see
I
one
may
more
be
time.
wrong, but there is not an ice cube's chance in hell that's a flagrant.
So actually, I just pulled up the clip because I wanted to watch it one more time. So this is super, and this kind of I didn't catch this the first time. It's kind of recontextualizes it for me. So before Angel Reese goes up for the rebound in the first place, you had one of the Fever players who were standing underneath the hoop and actually gets a shove, potentially an elbow, and from Angel Reese, and it pushes her away from the ball, and that is it. Looks like Caitlin Clark retaliates to go and then get the foul.
I am pulling up the clip as well. Let me rewatch this as if I didn't just watch it an hour ago.
In that case, and again, I know I know that you're right. I know that soccer is different, but if that was the case and it was a retaliatory foul, retaliatory whatever, yeah,
Okay,
then that gets upgraded for me.
I do see that, but my thing is, even if it was a retaliatory foul, right, a foul in retaliation, that was a play on the ball. That was an attempt at the ball, which was being held at Angel Reese's midsection. And Caitlin Clark, yeah, sure, there's a little bumping in there. Swipes. She swipes, but she's swiping at where the ball would be at Angel Reese's
Um,
midsection.
yeah,
So yeah, sure, I do see her point and say, hey, she got shoved, and then she fouled her, and Angel Reese flops. In my opinion,
yeah, the flop was a flop. Yeah,
hella flop. Now, that's not even what I wanted to get into. They called what they called. They met and they discussed it and gave their reasoning, and sure, we'll have to agree with it. One, I want to see consistency throughout the season. If that's a flagrant, that's a flagrant. Because I guarantee we see this happen 2-3 weeks down the road to
oh
Caitlin Clark, and
oh
it doesn't get called as a flagrant.
one
And
hundred percent.
I'm not sitting here defending. I'm just saying that there's this narrative being built by Angel Reese, and it's, in my opinion, it's just completely false and wrong.
That
And I
narrative
think
being what?
that narrative being that, and it's the narrative she set. This league is not just about Caitlin Clark. It's about me too.
So funny you say that because I have such an issue with, and I genuinely feel like I could carry this argument over to other sports if what's happening there, but I feel like the NBA to a degree has this, but like the vets and the Hall of Famers or the people that are in media now, like if they feel like they have to talk down about her. Like it's instead of like if I don't know, for me from the outside, it's like, oh, here is somebody who is highly talented, uh, you know, commercial face of these different brands, whatever else, and is bringing eyes to your game and to your league and to your sport. That should be like welcomed. And instead,
And
it's like,
you're
no,
referring to Angel Reese.
no, I'm referring to Caitlin Clark.
Okay, you're referring to Caitlin Clark. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that she is this number one draft pick. You know, had a great collegiate career, the face on all these brands, and to me, at least from the stories that I know, unless I'm missing something, she hasn't done anything that's like super egregious. But like all of these pros who were in the WNBA who were commenting on it, whatever else, were like, yeah, well, she's not good enough, or she's gonna have to make this jump, and it's not just about her. And I'm like, dude, like she's trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
It
I
blows my mind.
I am loving these 1 year later videos. I remember seeing a clip of, I think it was Diana Taurasi talking about it. The thing
She
literally
was
may
one of
have
them. Yeah.
been one of them that you mentioned, that she's gonna have to make this step up, and this isn't college basketball anymore. She's not all that. And then, like, there was a video a year later of Caitlin Clark complimenting or saying congratulations on your retirement to Rossi, because she just whooped her ass all season.
I don't
Like,
know. I
not
just
not that that's why she retired, but you got to think that's a
no,
little
but
bit of
I
it.
get what you're saying.
Like, hey, these youngins coming in, like, whatever, and hey, this girl is the truth. And what I love about Caitlin Clark is she's ice cold and she just balls. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. She just shows up and balls. And my issue with Angel Reese is this is the same girl taunting Caitlin Clark, pointing a ring finger in her face while Caitlin Clark was losing a national championship game. That's now trying to play victim.
Oh,
Like, no,
that's a great way to spin it.
you're
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bully.
True.
You're the bully that started all of this. Caitlin Clark hasn't retaliated at all, besides that quote flagrant foul.
I heard you'll probably have a better understanding than I would, but I thought it rang so true. Angel Reese is Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, talented player, right? Deserves to be there. That they can tell their own story, of course. But when things get going, sometimes there is a darker side or a dark arts or whatever we're gonna call it, and is the taunting or it's the media stuff and it's this and that. But like, if she were to just let her game do the talking, or if Draymond were to just let his game do the talking, I feel like they would have so much of like a better public opinion around them.
I
Not
agree.
and I get no, that's not the end all be all, right? You don't need people to like you, and I get that. And there was this whole discourse of, is she going to be the villain of the WNBA? And I would probably consider Draymond, if we had to pick one, to be the villain of the NBA. But they're almost too good for that. Like, you're almost too talented. You don't need to resort to that, in my opinion.
For sure. And from a Warriors fan, I would definitely love if Draymond got less technicals and less flagrants. But that's him. And whatever. It is what it is.
And maybe that's what like Sky fans are going to say about Angel Reese. It's, to me personally, it seems like she built half of her career on hating Caitlin Clark, and it seems like Caitlin Clark can't even be bothered to like care about her.
No, she doesn't, because the numbers just speak for themselves.
So, yeah, you know what? Maybe if I was the little sibling too that was just trying to scratch and claw to get any attention, like maybe I would say some outlandish stuff or be flopping or whatever. But it's not. I don't know. Like, I just watched the video back one more time. The reaction after the foul, and if it's a foul, right? I think for anybody agrees it's a foul.
It's a foul, yeah.
Depending on what your definition of a flagrant, fine. But it's what happens after that.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark walks away. She knows it was a hard foul, and just don't instigate. Just, yeah, cool. Did what I had to do. 1, protecting teammate. 2, you're not getting free buckets. So, hey, smart, hard foul, in my opinion.
Sure. And you're telling me that's like, if you just if you missed the foul and you were just watching the end result, it looks like there was almost a brawl on the court.
Exactly. Because Angel Reese she actually got fined for this. She was screaming F you, F you, F you at Caitlin Clark. And it's like, you're out there balling. That would happen at pickup.
She had double
for an
double.
easy
Like,
bucket.
just keep playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in your camp though. I think you don't need it.
And what you said was going to be my end point to the conversation. And you said you think if she and Draymond would just let their ball do the talking, they'd be in a lot better place. I think if she would just hush and chill with the hate and just go ball and just own up to mistakes. Like, yeah, I had a bad shooting night, but I had 15 rebounds. Like, I'm out there contributing to the team elsewhere. And just crush all this. Hey, I'm trying to be like, I beat Caitlin Clark. Guys, remember? Like it's not just about her. Like, stop. Just no. Just do away with all that. That was college. That was fine. Now you're here. You do your thing and you help your team win. Beat her again.
Like, let me ask you this: if you are, I don't know who it was. I don't know who just got the job. Maybe it was Tarasi. One of the legends who's now helping out with the USA basketball for the women's side. You have to assume Caitlin Clark gets the invite.
I mean,
for the following Olympics, whether or not she's starting, right? Because that team is going to be stacked. My assumption is she at least is on the bench. Does Angel Reese get the call?
I don't know. Depends on her season.
And actually, let me rephrase. I don't even mean on talent. Right? There's probably a whole different conversation there for talent wise or positional fit or anything like that. Would you want those two people together on the same roster?
Yes. We're gonna
Okay.
say Andrew Reese has a good season. I'm not
Okay.
saying anything crazy, but has a good season. Yes. Why wouldn't you? Because in my opinion, it goes one way. I don't think Caitlin Clark cares. I
Okay.
think Angel Reese is just trying to not live in her shadow,
Mm,
which is fine. I just think there's a different way to go about it. And I think putting those two on the same team definitely sells tickets.
well, that's true. Definitely brings eyeballs there. Like I'm sure there'll be a whole documentary about it.
You have to film the practice sessions in case
Yes.
Draymond decides to throw a punch, but you know,
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking now because it's Tarasi is retired. Brittany Griner's going to be 37. I doubt she'll play. Everybody else, I mean, this team is so good. Everybody else is going to be mid 30s or younger. So I don't know. We'll have the FIBA World Cup for them will be next summer. I think that'll probably be the first time that you'll be looking at them play together and whatnot. I do think you make a good point though, like commercially or um, documentary wise or whatever, like that's going to sell some tickets.
indeed.
Hmm.
Indeed. It's going to be a great time.
You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, that was all I had for tonight.
Well, we'll see how my mood is by next week. Well, after two of these New York Knicks games. But if we are up 2-0, good luck finding me.
Good luck finding you. You're going to be storming the streets in New York with everybody.
Yeah, I might be on Seventh Ave. We'll see. But that's it, man. I'll catch you next
All
time.
right, man. Yes, sir. Take it easy. Next time, Memorial Day. Happy holidays.